Hey, Andrew Chwalik here. I'm a graduate of Walsh University where I studied a variety of subjects including marketing and entrepreneurship. One of my former professors, Dr. Edelson, asked me to come back to campus and speak on a little panel about my entrepreneurial journey. This is my contribution. Yeah, so 2 years ago, I was in this very class as well, and I had to start a business. I started a company called Retie. I gathered gently used ties from Goodwills, thrift shops, online auctions, all that stuff, cleaned them up, and then put them online and sold them for cheaper prices so college students and young professionals could get quality ties instead of paying $50 for a tie at a store. And it was going well.
This is the first time I've not seen you in a tie.
I know. It was a hard breakup, so now I avoid ties.
Right.
But yeah, so long story short, the company did not work out. For a variety of reasons. I didn't put 110% focus in it. I didn't really have a structured business model of how I wanted to kind of expand it and grow it and bring on customers. But yes, it didn't work out. But the benefit of that coming from this class as well as the experience of doing it was, one, I learned how to file a business. So we actually had to file, get an LLC if that's what it's supposed to be, did that. So now I've been able to do that for the variety of different ventures I've done. It takes 10 seconds now. I also learned that you have to have some structure, whether that's in your marketing, whether that's in your sales process, to make sure that you're continually working to generate sales, because if you don't have sales, you don't make money, your company doesn't work out. Figured that one out pretty quickly too. And another piece of that, I took on too much inventory all at once. I got super excited. I'm starting a business. It's awesome. It's fun. And I went out and bought a total of 600 ties. So I had 600 neckties in inventory because I was so pumped. I'm going to sell a bunch of ties. I think overall I sold 15. So I would have definitely been better off if I would have a structured process for taking on inventory, maybe a percentage-wise versus sales, and really having structure would have made that venture more successful. But I did learn all those things from it, so I can't complain. That was the very first entrepreneurial attempt. Second one was a dating company, and it was called The First Rendezvous. We created a little box, and it's a box that had a bunch of games, activities, and different stuff in it, and you take it with you on a first date to make things a lot less awkward. So instead of going up, you sit down with another person, they're cute, whatever, and it's just real awkward. You don't talk to each other. And started that company, that was the concept. We went through different suppliers. We designed the boxes ourselves. We had the custom branding and everything built into it. The instructions were printed on the box, and then gathered supplies from different suppliers inside the box, and then sold it online as an e-commerce business. That was a little more successful, thankfully, than the tie company. We had much more structure. We kind of figured out all the stuff, set up the plans, and overall, we probably sold around 35 to 40 of those boxes, and thankfully, we were close to breaking even overall on everything. However, we realized that we were not achieving the growth that we wanted to see and to be sustainable with that type of a model, so we tried to shift to a dating subscription service. So instead of just having the one first date box, we had offered different types of boxes for different dates. So you're subscribed to it, you get one kit or one date box a month, and you'll have different themed dates that you can go on, whether you're with a significant other, and that's usually how it should have been. Significant other, if you're married, they'll just provide fun dates for you. And that was brought over to Kickstarter, so we're figuring, okay, cool, we need some finances to actually kick this one off to generate a little bit of inventory, and pushed out a Kickstarter campaign, and we didn't reach our goal, and my business partner and I said, okay, sweet, if we don't reach the goal, we're not going to pursue it. So we pushed into that Kickstarter for about a month, didn't reach the goal, so we said, all right, well, we're done. Business partner went off to do some actual business stuff. He got a job in an accounting firm, which, it's fine if you want to do that and not start your own business, whatever. I ended up starting a marketing agency, which is what I do now in Columbus, and thankfully that one generates enough money so I can do it full time. But that one was much more structured. It's more kind of like a consultancy base. I go into different businesses, and depending on what they want and what they need, I say, okay, we can do this for you on marketing. We can help you make this type of a strategy. We focus on 3 areas: social media, digital advertising, and video production. And we are shifting over now from a pricing model of per hour, which kind of is a normal thing for a consultancy, saying, hey, our time is worth $50 an hour. So for $50 for every hour, we charge $50 of the project that we're working on. Now we're shifting over to a package plan. So saying if you want social media management, we charge you $1,000 a month flat. So let's say all that pricing stuff, because having a pricing strategy can kind of potentially, depending on your business, lead the direction of which it goes. And now, as I mentioned, 2 of my businesses have failed. Fantastic. Kind of sucks going through that breakup process, but you learn something from every failed business that you have. So no matter what, even if it goes out there, it is successful, and you end up failing 2 years out there, if you fail 1 month in, that's okay, because you do learn so much stuff on how to build it. And even from the company that you build in this class, like, I learned how to set up a functioning and actual business and do it the right way, the legal structured way, so you can really make money and have a real business. Dr. Edelson wanted me to talk a little more about my Kickstarter experience. I think our goal was $2,500, if I remember correctly, and we reached, it was like 25% of that, so I think we're getting close to the $1,000 range. But Kickstarter is a great platform. If you know how to utilize it the right way, you can get that free money. It is basically a marketing advocacy platform, so you have to have some type of skills in the marketing world to help project that out there. So just taking your cool concept, even if you have the right kind of content, you make a sweet video, you put it on Kickstarter, you would think that would be the majority of the process, and it just helps to generate money for you. That's not the case, sadly. You have to push it super hard. You have to go out, you have to market, you got to tell people about it. You have to make sure the SEO is developed properly on there. The goal is to get featured on Kickstarter, because then that is the greatest way to help promote it to the Kickstarter community so they can kind of fund it. One area that we came into that was a struggle, other than amplifying our brand and pushing it out, was having the right type of structure on Kickstarter. So Kickstarter is the platform where you put your idea, your concept, your product, your business up there, and then people will be like, oh, sweet, that's cool. I'm going to give you some money up front before you have it developed so that you can eventually make this business real, and then you'll give them something like a postcard that's a thank you, or a meet and greet with the founders, or whatever. The hardest part was getting people to understand what Kickstarter was. So we kind of targeted parents for our Kickstarter because we had the date kit. We want them to go out, have that subscription, and get that cool date every month. Parents right now in the older generation, like him, don't really know what Kickstarter is. So it was kind of hard explaining what Kickstarter was to the older generation, because they're like saying, we're going to put up this money and then we get like a thank you card. That's it? Like, your business isn't even real? How does that work? So that, I think, was the biggest thing that prevented us from being successful on Kickstarter, because our target market didn't understand what it was and couldn't fund us. Okay. He then asked me if I could go back and be in his class again, what would I do differently? What I would do differently, if I'm sitting in your shoes again, I would sit down and think if this is a company that I, one, wanted to pursue for at least 10 years of my life. Is this a company I can be passionate about, get behind the mission, and grow it? And then the second piece goes with that growth. Is there a sustainable enough business model that can make this company grow in such a way that it will be financially beneficial to me, that I could live off of? Because there are some awesome, super cool business ideas out there. I thought retail was pretty cool. Like, people need affordable ties. I'm creating a way for them to get that. But me going to Goodwill every 2 weeks, buying a bunch of ties, listing them online, and then having people buy them, and then then I ship them to the individual that purchased them, that's going to have a tough time growing very quickly. So I would probably sit down, look at the business model of my company, and then figure out that piece first. And then along, again, with the passion piece, I would want to make sure that this is a company that I can 100% get behind, have passion for it. And not that I didn't for retie, but that was more of like a flavor of the week. So I wore ties and I dressed up a lot in college. I was kind of a nerd. It's fine. And
Followed his Instagram.
I posted a tie pic every day on my Instagram. Yeah, I was a super nerd about all that. And I was like, sweet, I love it. I love dressing up. So that's a company that I want to start. And I could have sustainably enjoyed that for 2 years, for sure. Built a little company out of it, whatever. But it's not something that I would have wanted to pursue long-term with my life goals. Now that I'm doing something around marketing, which is what I'm so passionate about, in social media and digital content, that's something that I could do for my entire career. So I would have liked to start what I'm doing now earlier on in this class, because it's what I'm 100% passionate about and love to do. So yeah, if I could go back and do it all again, I would start something that, one, is something I'm passionate about, and two, has potential for growth and is sustainable. My friend Matt, who is also an entrepreneur, just talked about passion as well, so I decided to draw a diagram to explain the journey it takes to find your true north. So the thing that we talked about, I'm going to draw a little diagram because I like it. And we both talked about passion, which is awesome, and you definitely want to follow your passion, but it's so hard to figure out what the heck your passion is. Because like I said, I thought I was passionate about ties. So I made a tie business, and I posted a freaking tie picture on Instagram every day. And I was gross and nerdy about it. But I thought that was my passion, and it ended up not being. So I'm just going to help you visualize this. And one piece that you just said in your last couple of sentences is that going out and getting experience is what you should be doing. Whether that is going out and getting a full-time job, that's okay to do, especially coming out of college. You have a buttload of student loans, which suck, and it's terrible. But it helps you figure out what that passion is. So defining your passion is so important. And that is one thing you should be doing in college right now, being a part of different activities, different clubs, trying out different classes. That's going to help you find your passion. I started a dating company. So I'm going to give you a dating example because that's what I know. These are all of the relationships you're going to have in your life. A bunch of different circles. You're going to have a bunch of different relationships. Some will last 2 weeks. Some will last years. Sweet. That's awesome. And each one is going to be interesting. And when you're in that relationship, you're going to be so into it. You're going to be in love. It's going to be fantastic. She's going to have blonde hair. She's going to be short. She's going to be cute. It's going to be awesome. And you're going to love her for how long that you're dating her. And that's cool. However, this big circle is the person that you're going to marry, the person you're going to live with and spend the rest of your life with. And that is the person that you're going to have the most passion for. You're going to love them for eternity. So while you're in these other relationships, it's great. You're going to learn a lot of stuff. It's going to be fun. You're going to have a good time, but it's not your passion. This eventually will be.
Also, don't let your circles overlap.
Yeah, notice they're not overlapping. So that is the same thing that you have to be doing with your business. You're going to try a bunch of different stuff in your life. You're going to have multiple businesses, hopefully. Some will be successful, some will probably fail. But there's going to be one thing that you're going to be so passionate in your life about that you're going to want to carry on for the rest of it, just like the person you're going to marry. So try to think about your passion that way. Work through the different passions that you're going to have in life, like ties or a dating company or something like that. Figure it out, enjoy the experience, learn from it, and then help that inform what your true passion is going to be, and that's going to make you more successful. And that's a wrap. If you want to know more about my entrepreneurial journey, just reach out on social media and I'll be happy to share.